Some truths are hidden, not because they're false, but because they're too profound for the world to accept. In 1975, in a quiet office in Georgia, Dr. Raymond Moody, the man who coined the term near-death experience, sat with a stack of handwritten notes. These weren't just stories. They were glimpses into a realm beyond life, whispered by those who crossed the threshold of death and returned. For over 50 years, these accounts were dismissed by science, locked away in skepticism's vault. But in 2023, a forgotten manuscript surfaced, sealed with a warning, open only when humanity is ready. What did these 15 pages reveal? A secret that could redefine how we see life, death, and the soul. Why do thousands who've died and returned describe the same light, the same love, the same eternal connection? And why were these truths buried in the next 40 minutes? We'll uncover a story that bridges science and spirit, fear and hope. Are you ready to discover what lies beyond? In 1975, at the University of Georgia, Dr. Raymond Moody met a journalist in secret. No record of the journalist's name exists. This wasn't a casual talk. Moody, a psychiatrist and philosopher, had spent years gathering stories from people who died clinically dead. Hearts stopped, brains silent and returned. Their tales weren't scattered. They shared a patterned tunnels of light, voices of loved ones, peace beyond words. But when Moody tried to share his findings, he hit a wall. Colleagues threatened his career. Publishers labeled his work dangerous. His manuscript, Life After Life, nearly vanished. Why such fear? Moody's notes hinted at a truth science-rejected consciousness might outlive the body. His 15-page manuscript, locked in a colleague's safe, resurfaced in 2023. A note in Moody's handwriting read, "For those ready to know." These pages weren't just stories. They were a map, linking the measurable to the mystical. Moody saw the soul as energy, eternal, unbound by flesh. He had proof over 2,500 near-death accounts, each echoing the same light, the same love. A mechanic in Ohio, dead for 10 minutes, saw himself above his body, doctors rushing. A nurse in Texas, revived after a stroke, met a figure who showed her life's every moment, felt through others' hearts. Brain scans showed nothing during their deaths. These weren't dreams. Moody's work aimed higher than death. It was about life. Knowing the afterlife existed could end fear, he said, freeing us to live with purpose. But the world wasn't ready. Society thrived on fear, fear of death, fear of the unknown. Moody's manuscript warned of this control, yet his patient stories carried hope. They described a place where love was everything, where kindness never faded. Moody believed this could change us, if we dared to listen. Dr. Raymond Moody didn't start with theories. He started with people. His question was simple: what happens when we die? He listened to over 2,500 near-death experiences. These weren't vague tales. They followed a pattern, clear and consistent. A welder in Alabama, dead for 9 minutes after a heart attack, described floating above his hospital bed, seeing nurses panic. A student in Arizona, revived after a car crash, walked through a tunnel of warm light, greeted by her grandmother's voice. Their brains showed no activity during these moments, yet their stories aligned. Moody found 9 elements in these accounts. First, a peace that erased all pain. Second, an out-of-body view, watching their own bodies. Third, a tunnel leading somewhere else. Fourth, a light, warm and loving. Fifth, meetings with those gone before. Sixth, a life review, reliving every choice. Seventh, a decision to return. Eighth, no more fear of death. Ninth, a new way of living, rooted in purpose. These weren't fantasies. They crossed ages, cultures, beliefs. A child in Oregon saw the same light as a banker in New York. These stories shook Moody. Science said the brain makes consciousness. But how could a dead brain see, feel, remember a librarian in Florida, clinically dead for 7 minutes, described her surgery in detail tools, words, even the doctors frowned. She met her brother, dead for years, who told her to go back. Moody began to see the brain as a tool, not the source. Like a radio, it receives a signal. If the radio breaks, the signal lives on. These accounts weren't just data. They were proof the soul might endure, carrying love and lessons beyond the grave. Dr. Raymond Moody knew his findings would stir doubt. Science insisted consciousness ends when the brain stops. Near-death experiences defied that claim. Moody looked to quantum physics for answers. Particles can entangle, connected across vast distances, behaving as one. If matter can transcend space, why not consciousness? He saw the soul as a form of energy, not confined to the body, but part of a cosmic field. This wasn't a wild guess. It came from patterns in over 2,500 accounts, all pointing to a reality beyond the physical. Moody likened the soul to a wave in an ocean. Each wave is unique, yet all are water. When a wave dissolves, its energy merges with the sea. Souls, he said, cycle through lives, learning through joy and pain. This echoed spiritual concepts like the Akashic Records, a universal archive of all knowledge. But Moody grounded his ideas in data. 90% of near-death experiencers reported a light filled with love. 80% met loved ones who had passed. These weren't random visions. They suggested a shared realm where love is the only truth. He turned to other researchers for support. Dr. Bruce Grayson, a psychiatrist, studied thousands of cases. He found near-death experiencers returned with less fear, more empathy, and less attachment to material things. These changes lasted decades. Quantum theories offered a clue. Information can exist outside physical systems, like a signal surviving a broken radio. Moody argued the brain doesn't create consciousness, it receives it. A case in Georgia backed this. A woman, clinically dead for 8 minutes during surgery, described the operating room, the tools, the doctor's words. Her brain showed no activity, yet she saw, she knew. Moody used metaphors to make this clear. The soul is a flame, he said. Its shape shifts, but its heat endures. Each life is a chance for the flame to grow brighter, through struggle and love. Pain, he believed, isn't punishment, it's a teacher. A teacher in Nevada, revived after a heart attack, met a being of light who showed her life's mistakes, not to judge, but to guide. She returned kinder, more forgiving. Moody saw these stories as proof the soul is eternal, shaped by every choice, every act of love, preparing for a journey beyond. Dr. Raymond Moody found one case that silenced skeptics. Her name was Pam Reynolds. In 1991, Pam, a mother from Atlanta, faced a life-threatening brain aneurysm. Surgery was her only hope, but it required a radical procedure. Doctors lowered her body temperature, stopped her heart, and drained her blood. Her brain showed no activity. She was clinically dead. Yet, what Pam experienced during those moments challenged everything science knew. As surgeons worked, Pam felt herself rise. She saw her body on the table, the doctor's tools, their urgent words. She heard a nurse say the artery was too small. She saw a saw-like device cutting her skull. These details weren't guesses, she described them perfectly later. Then, a tunnel of light pulled her forward. At its end, she met her grandmother, radiant and young. Her uncle was there, too, smiling. They stood in a field of light, warm and alive with love. Pam felt no fear, only peace. Her grandmother showed her moments of her life not to judge, but to teach. Pam's uncle told her she had to return. She didn't want to leave. The light was home, but he guided her back, promising she'd see them again. When Pam woke, she was changed. Fear of death was gone. She lived with deeper love, cherishing every moment. Moody studied her case closely. Pam's brain was offline during her visions. No oxygen, no electrical signals. Yet she saw, heard, felt. Science couldn't explain it. Moody argued her soul had left her body, connecting to a field of light where love and memory endure. This wasn't just Pam's story. Moody saw it as a window to truth. The soul, he said, is like a flame. Its form changes, but its essence burns on. Pam's experience showed consciousness isn't tied to the brain. It's eternal, moving through lives to learn and grow. Her story echoed others: a farmer in Iowa, a child in Maine, all describing the same light, the same love. Moody believed these weren't accidents. They were messages, urging us to live with kindness, to know our actions ripple forever in the cosmic sea. Dr. Raymond Moody noticed something striking. Near-death experiences didn't just reveal the afterlife, they changed people. Those who returned lived differently, as if they'd seen a truth too big to ignore. A factory worker in Michigan, dead for 10 minutes after a machine accident in 1978, came back with a new heart. He'd been angry, distant, lost in grief for his daughter, who died young. In a realm of light, she ran to him, laughing, whole. She showed him his life, his harsh words, his small kindnesses, not to shame him, but to teach. He returned vowing to live with love. He mended ties with his family, volunteered at shelters, lived for others. Moody saw this pattern in thousands of cases. People returned less afraid of death, more open to love, less chained to wealth or status. Dr. Bruce Grayson, a colleague, tracked these shifts. His studies showed 80% of near-death experiencers became more compassionate. 70% lost their fear of dying. These weren't fleeting changes, they lasted decades. A librarian in Oregon revived after an allergic reaction, gave up her pursuit of fame. She'd seen a light that showed her life's purpose: to help, to connect. She spent her days teaching children, finding joy in small acts. Why the change? Moody believed these experiences touched the soul's core. The soul, he said, is like a flame, shaped by each life's lessons. In the field of light, people saw their actions through others' eyes. A banker in New York, dead for 6 minutes, relived his greed, his coldness. He also felt his rare moments of generosity, their warmth rippling outward. He returned, giving away much of his wealth, living simply. Moody argued this showed the soul's purpose: to grow through love, to learn through pain. These transformations weren't just personal, they carried a message for us all. If death is a return to light, not an end, why chase empty things? If pain forges the soul, why fear it? Moody saw life as a school, each moment a chance to burn brighter. Those who returned brought back a truth: love is eternal. Every kind word, every sacrifice, echoes in the cosmic field, shaping who we become, now and beyond. Dr. Raymond Moody believed near-death experiences revealed the soul's true nature. It wasn't a ghost or a myth. It was energy, eternal, connected to a vast field of light. He described this field as a cosmic sea, where souls merge yet remain distinct, like waves in an ocean. Each soul carries its own shape, its own story, but all are part of the whole. When a life ends, the soul doesn't vanish. it returns to the field, carrying every lesson, every love. Moody saw this in thousands of accounts, each describing a light that felt like home. A teacher in Colorado, dead for 7 minutes after a car crash in 1980, saw this field. She stood in a golden glow surrounded by figures of light. Her parents, her childhood friend, all radiant. They didn't speak with words. They shared feelings, memories, love. She saw her life unfold, every choice, every pain, woven into a tapestry of purpose. The light showed her she was never alone. She returned with a mission to live with kindness, to spread the love she felt. Moody said this field is the afterlife, a place where souls connect, learn, and grow. He tied this to science. Quantum physics suggests a non-local reality, where information exists beyond matter. The field of light, Moody argued, could be this reality, a space where consciousness thrives without a body. 90% of near-death experiencers describe this light as love itself. It wasn't a place, but a state, alive with energy. A veteran in Ohio, revived after a heart attack, felt this. He saw no faces, only a warmth that knew him, that held every moment of his life. He came back gentler, more present. Moody used a metaphor to explain. The soul is a flame, its light joining a greater fire. Each life is a chance to burn brighter, to refine the soul through love and struggle. The field of light is eternal, but not static. It's a living web, where every act of kindness ripples, shaping the souls it touches. Moody believed this truth could free us. If we're part of this field, why fear death? Why cling to fleeting things? The soul's journey is to love, to grow, to return home. Dr. Raymond Moody saw a deeper truth in near-death experiences. Pain isn't punishment, it's a teacher, shaping the soul for its eternal journey. Many who returned spoke of a life review, where they relived their choices, feeling their impact on others. A farmer in Iowa, dead for 9 minutes after a heart attack in 1979, stood in a field of light. A being of light showed him his life, every harsh word, every moment of neglect. He felt his wife's tears, his children's hurt, but he also felt the warmth of his small kindnesses, like helping a neighbor in need. The light didn't judge. It taught him to forgive himself, to grow. He returned softer, more present, determined to live with love. Moody found this in countless stories. The life review wasn't about guilt. It was about learning. Pain, he said, forges the soul, like fire refines gold. In the field of light, every struggle has purpose. A mother in California, revived after a coma in 1982, saw her life's losses, her son's death, her broken marriage. She felt their weight, but the light showed her how they shaped her empathy, her strength. She came back to help others grieve, knowing pain was her teacher. Moody believed this revealed the soul's path to grow through hardship, to shine through love. He connected this to science. Psychology shows pain builds resilience. Near-death studies like those by Dr. Bruce Grayson found experiencers often embraced suffering as a gift. 80% reported a new perspective. Pain wasn't random, but a lesson. A veteran in Texas, dead for 6 minutes, relived his anger, his mistakes. In the light, he saw they led him to compassion. He returned to counsel others, turning his scars into wisdom. Moody argued this showed the soul's design. It learns through every tear, every wound, preparing for the cosmic sea. The soul, Moody said, is a flame. Pain is the wind that shapes its dance, making it brighter. Life is a forge, each struggle a chance to burn with purpose. Those who saw the light brought back a message: don't fear pain. embrace it. It's crafting you for eternity. Your kindness, your love, outweighs every hurt, echoing forever in the field of light. This truth, Moody believed, could change how we live if we see pain as a guide, not an enemy. Dr. Raymond Moody found a single thread in every near-death experience: love. Not fleeting emotion, but an eternal force, the soul's essence. Those who crossed death's threshold described a light that wasn't just bright. It was love, pure and boundless. A widow in Atlanta, dead for 8 minutes after a stroke in 1980, met her husband in a field of light. He was young, radiant, his smile unchanged. They didn't speak. They shared a warmth that held every moment of their life together. She felt his love, not as memory, but as a living presence. She returned knowing love never dies. Moody heard this in thousands of stories. 90% of experiencers felt a love that knew no end. It wasn't tied to time or place. A firefighter in Illinois, revived after a heart attack, stood in a glow that wrapped him like a blanket. He saw his mother, gone for years. She showed him his life, his sacrifices, his quiet acts of care. Each one rippled, touching lives he never knew. He came back to live boldly, giving love without fear. Moody said this showed the soul's truth. Love is its fuel, its purpose, its home. He linked this to science. Studies on consciousness suggest emotions like love create lasting impacts, measurable in brain waves and behavior. Dr. Bruce Grayson found near-death experiencers returned with heightened empathy, as if love rewired their souls. A nurse in Florida, dead for 6 minutes, felt a light that showed her every kind word she'd spoken. Those moments shone brighter than her mistakes. She returned to care for patients with deeper compassion, knowing her love would echo beyond her life. Moody argued this proved love's permanence, a force that binds the field of light. The soul, Moody said, is a flame, and love is its spark. Every act of kindness, every moment of care fuels that flame, making it eternal. Life is a chance to grow this light, to weave it into the cosmic sea. Those who saw the light brought back a call: live with love. It's not wealth or fame that endures. It's the hug you give, the hand you hold, the heart you lift. These ripple forever, shaping the soul, binding it to the field of light, where love is all that matters. Dr. Raymond Moody believed near-death experiences carried a mission for us all. They weren't just glimpses of the afterlife. They were a call to live with purpose, to align with the soul's eternal path. Those who returned brought a clear message: life is a school, and love is the lesson. A teacher in Maine, dead for 7 minutes after a drowning in 1977, stood in a field of light. Her father, gone for decades, showed her life's moments, her impatience, her small acts of care. She saw how her kindness lifted others, how her anger dimmed their light. She returned to teach with patience, to live with love, knowing every choice shaped her soul. Moody found this in thousands of accounts. The field of light revealed life's purpose: to grow through love, to learn through every interaction. A mechanic in Arizona, revived after a heart attack, met a being of light who showed him his life's ripple. His gruff words had hurt, but his quiet help, a tool lent. A ride given had changed lives. He came back to live intentionally, helping others with joy. Moody said this showed the soul's work. We're here to refine our flame, to make it burn brighter through kindness, to prepare for the cosmic sea. He tied this to science. Psychology shows acts of love strengthen neural pathways, building empathy. Near-death studies, like Dr. Bruce Grayson's, found experiencers lived with purpose after their return. 80% felt driven to help others, to live for something greater. A mother in Nevada, dead for 6 minutes, saw her life's pain, her struggles, her losses. The light showed her they built her strength, her ability to love. She returned to volunteer, to lift others, knowing her mission was love. Moody argued this was universal. The soul chooses life to learn, to grow, to weave its light into the field. The soul, Moody said, is a flame, and life is its forge. Every choice, every act of love shapes it for eternity. We don't need to die to know this. The message is here: live with love. Let go of fear, of anger, of empty pursuits. Your kindness, your care, your courage, they echo in the field of light, binding you to others, now and forever. Moody believed this mission could change the world if we embrace it, if we live as souls meant to shine. Dr. Raymond Moody's work carried a final message. Near-death experiences don't just show us the afterlife, they show us how to live. The soul is eternal, a flame in a cosmic field of light. Its purpose is love, its path is growth. A widow in Oregon, dead for 6 minutes after a heart attack in 1981, saw this truth in a radiant field. Her sister, gone for years, showed her life's moments, her fears, her quiet acts of care. She saw how her love, even in small gestures, lifted others. She returned to live boldly, giving without reserve, knowing her light would never fade. Moody heard this in every story. Those who saw the light didn't fear death. They feared wasting life. A carpenter in Texas, revived after a factory accident, met a being of light who revealed his life's impact. His gruff moments dimmed others, but his kindness a meal shared. A child taught shone bright. He came back to build homes for the needy, living for love. Moody said this was the soul's call, to live as if every act echoes in eternity, to make every day a step toward the field of light. He grounded this in science. Studies like those by Dr. Bruce Grayson showed near-death experiencers lived with purpose. 90% felt connected to something greater, driven to act with love. A student in California, dead for 5 minutes after a crash, saw a light that held her life's choices. Her selfish acts faded, but her kindness glowed. She returned to study healing, to help others shine. Moody argued this showed the soul's design. We're here to learn, to love, to grow our flame. The field of light isn't a distant dream, it's a reality we touch through every kind act. The soul, Moody said, is a flame, and love is its fuel. Life is a chance to burn brighter, to weave your light into the cosmic sea. You don't need to die to know this. Feel it now. Choose love now. Let go of fear, of anger, of chasing empty things. Your smile, your help, your heart, they ripple forever, shaping your soul, connecting you to the field of light. Moody believed this truth could transform us. Live as the soul you are, eternal, boundless, meant to love, meant to shine. You are not alone. Your soul is a spark in an infinite field of light, woven with those you love, those you've lost, those you'll meet again. Dr. Raymond Moody's work shows us near-death experiences aren't just stories. They're truths, revealing the soul's eternal journey. Death isn't the end. It's a return to a light where every moment of your life, every joy, every pain finds purpose. The soul lives on, carrying love that never fades. This truth changes everything. If your soul is eternal, why fear death? If pain is a teacher, why run from it? Moody learned from thousands who saw the light. They returned with a mission to live with love, to make every day count. A widow in Oregon felt her sister's presence, guiding her to forgive. a carpenter in Texas, built homes for the poor, knowing his kindness rippled forever. Their stories call us to act. Let go of fear. Let go of anger. Choose love now. In every word, every deed, your soul is a flame, and every act of love makes it burn brighter, echoing in the cosmic sea. Moody's findings aren't locked in a manuscript anymore. They're here. For you. You don't need to die to touch this truth. Try this tonight. Find a quiet place. Sit for 2 minutes. Breathe deeply. Picture a moment of love, a smile, a hug, a kind word. Feel its warmth. This is your soul's light, eternal, connected to all. Ask yourself, what am I here to learn? The answer may come as a whisper, a feeling, a memory. This practice isn't just a pause, it's a step toward living as your soul, boundless, meant to shine. Dr. Raymond Moody said the greatest discovery isn't life after death, it's life before death. Live it fully, live it with purpose. If this story moves you, share it. Comment light below. If you feel your soul's connection to the eternal, share this video with someone searching, a friend, a parent, a heart seeking answers. Subscribe to join us in exploring more truths, from hidden manuscripts to untold stories of the soul. Your life is a thread in the field of light. Every choice, every love, weaves it stronger. Don't wait for death to see this. Live it now. Comment light. Share with someone awakening. Subscribe for more soul journeys. Let's shine together.